When you say that spot moves the markets, I absolutely do agree with that, but I think in the specific case of liquidity sweeps, you need to prioritize looking at the perps market because sweeps on spot doesn't really matter that much. Think about something like this where you're inducing lows. Let's say this is like an order block. When price is in this low time frame range, you're kind of hoping that longs are entering here. Breakout longers getting horny every time price comes to this low time frame range high. And they're trading with their stops down here. These are intraday scalpers, guys trading on low time frame. The idea is that the market maker, the institutional players, whatever the fuck you want to call them, they are engineering this liquidity to be taken at a later date. Orchestrate a sweep, which will actually fill their bids down here below the liquidity when these guys get knocked out, and that'll fuel move in the other direction. But in traditional spot trading, most people don't trade that way. They're not buying spot at this level with a tight stop. That's not how the majority of spot market participants are going to manage those positions. They might have invalidations, but usually those are going to be further away, and you also might not be using an automatic stop losses. Tighter invalidations and market stop losses that are triggered when price hits a certain level, that's far more commonly associated with futures markets. Let's say you get a situation where spot sweeps those lows, but the perp market doesn't. I don't think that that's a valid sweep. That liquidity has not been taken yet because the perps market participants that you need to generate that liquidity have not been knocked out of their position. Now, flip that around. The perps market gets a sweep and the spot market doesn't. That's a valid sweep because the perps market participants that have longed in this small range with their stops below here, they've gotten knocked out, and now if price starts moving in the other direction, that's a valid sweep. And this is a valid example of liquidity being engineered and taken at a later date to orchestrate a move in the other direction. So when you say that spot moves the markets, I absolutely do agree with that, but I think in the specific case of liquidity sweeps, based on how I understand liquidity dynamics and price dynamics, I think you need to prioritize looking at the perps market, the ticker that has the most volume in the perps market, which is Binance Perps.